Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 10 of Off the Bench. We are hitting our double digits here today with a very special edition episode as we're going to start breaking down the postseason chances for the men and women squads in basketball here at Culver Stockton. The regular season is coming to an end. About a week and a day left for regular season, and it's going to be a tight one, especially for the women. So we welcome you into another episode once again. I'm Esteban Velez, your host, and we're excited to have two of our famous broadcasters here with us today. Famous, Luis. Luis Saldarriaga and Henry Apia are joining us today. Henry, Luis, how are we doing?
Well, first of all, I almost didn't come back because obviously we all know what happened last time. Esteban decided to hit me with the very, very bad comments about Manchester United. So I'm really, really shocked about that. But he convinced me to come back, and I'm excited to talk about the postseason for women's basketball. How about you, Luis?
I know, it's great to be here. Great to first episode on Off the Bench. Me and my buddies have our own podcast, so it's kind of cool to see another podcast come out of KN.
What's your podcast called? We'll give it a little shout out.
So it's me, Josh Villarino, and Mikhail Cummings. We have one called Unfiltered Untitled. We haven't posted in a while, but we have about 5 episodes out. You know, just talk about sports, talk about stuff outside of KN, just like stuff in general, not really anything specific.
So Unfiltered Untitled on YouTube. I'll have to check that one out myself. Getting back to this podcast, let's talk about the women's side, the women's basketball team. We'll start with them. It's a tight race right now in the standings. Culver Stockton sitting at 8th place, tied with 3 other teams. We're tied right now with Park University, Peru State, and Graceland. Yesterday's game, let's talk a little bit about that first. It kind of saw the girls not play to the best of their abilities. We kind of saw them go down a level, if we can say it that way. It was a tough game to watch, a tough game to comment on. It just didn't seem like they were too focused yesterday.
Nah, yeah, I mean, we both commentated that game yesterday, and I think I wanted to start off. Obviously, we thought that the women were going to come out there and give us, a much more energetic performance in that first quarter, and it wasn't what we expected. But it definitely got better, though. I think by the third and fourth quarter, we saw them play much better, moved the ball much better and much quicker. And I think overall, if they had started the way they ended, I think it could have been a very different game.
And a big key to that was Ashton Bowers. She came in, I believe it was the third quarter, and she played phenomenal yesterday. She got key minutes. We hadn't really seen her play that much this season. I'm excited to see what the future holds for her. And that starts in 2 days' time, Saturday. I wonder how many minutes she'll be playing on Saturday. But she did great yesterday, helped the team out. And as you said, Henry, if they would have finished the way they started, it would have been a different result. Right now, the girls have 3 games left. They're sitting at 9-16 record overall, 8-13 in conference. Luis, the teams are going to be playing up next with the 3 games left are Park, Peru State, and Graceland. What are we going to take away from those 3 games? And let's kind of predict, out of those 3 games, how many wins are we getting?
So I think we'll get like a solid 2 wins out of those. Maybe I think we'll get probably 2 wins out of those. Probably secure a playoff spot. That's what I'm hoping for. Henry, what do you think?
I think we're gonna win all 3 games. You know, all 3 games left. And I'll explain my reasoning here. So obviously we saw at the start of the sorry, Esteban here is clearly.
I think it's too close to the mic.
Too close.
Too close. Yeah.
Okay. Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay.
You can keep going.
Okay. Thank you. So I say we're gonna win the next 3 games because I feel like the momentum we showed from the second half, it was much better and much more consistent than what we saw, especially after coming after a couple losses that the team has shown. So I think we're just going to see a continuance of what the team has to offer for the next 3 games, and I think it's going to be very positive.
I agree with you. I believe we're going to win the 3 games that are left, especially because they're against weaker teams. We're going to be facing, Graceland, Peru State, and Park, and or not Peru State actually, Graceland, Park, and Baker, which will be this Saturday. So Baker's sitting at last place right now. Park, we already beat them this season at home.
What was the score when we beat them at home?
That is a phenomenal question. On the top of my head, I can't remember. But I know we beat them by... It was over double digits. Or double digits. So it should be a comfortable win this time around, hopefully, even though we're going to be on the road. And against Graceland, I believe we lost the first... No, we won the first game. It was here at home. So this is going to be the second time we face them, and I'm expecting a big win again, even though it's going to be on the road.
78-50 last time we played Park.
78-50.
Okay.
So that's about, my math is pretty bad, but what, 28?
Oh, he's got it.
Is it? There we go.
He's got it now.
There we go. So 28-point difference.
And then we lost to Clark 92-62. So
it's a good thing we're not playing Clark, Lewis.
Yeah,
I was mentioning
there was no need. There was no need to bring that up.
Where did you get Clark
It's Graceland. Look for Graceland.
Okay,
How about that? Look
Sorry.
for Graceland.
I'm looking for Graceland.
As we can see,
we won 59-57.
Yes.
15,
Okay.
yeah. So it was a closer game.
And that was here at home.
Yeah.
Again, it's a good thing we didn't. We're not going to play Clark.
Yeah.
But let's look at the bright side of Clark. Somehow we're getting into topic with them. We lost to them by 3 last time we played them on the road, and that was the game we took them to overtime. And they're the number 5 ranked team in the nation.
So I have something to say. So we're also playing Baker, and we lost to Baker 63-46 last time. So that's why I said we'll win 2 out of the 3 games. Because last time we played Baker, they blew us out by a solid 30 points. So
You know what? I think we're gonna beat Baker this time. Considering they're last in the standings, I think we're going to beat Baker this time. I have faith. I have hope.
Well, I was about to say, Lewis, why do you think we're gonna I mean, they're currently last in the standings.
all right, come back to me on that.
Okay, come back.
We'll
Continue,
give him-
Esteban. Continue.
We'll give him some time to think about why we're going to magically lose to the team that's in last place. He's got to come up with some sort of explanation for that. But again, okay, if we win these 3 games, we are in for sure. Mm-hmm. If we win 2 out of 3, we got to kind of wait to see what other teams do and how they fare. Mm-hmm. So the key is really just focusing on ourselves. I don't think we need to do too much looking at other teams and see how they're going to do, because we just need to be able to take care of business, do what we do best, and eventually we'll be able to, if we win the 3 games, make it to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Lewis?
So looking at the stats at my only glance I took, the only reason Baker beat us was they had 44 rebounds compared to our 28 rebounds. So during that game, the reason they beat us by as much was not only did they have more offensive or defensive rebounds, but just in general, every other stat, it's fairly close. They have more points in the paint and more rebounds. So if we focus on getting more rebounds and securing the paint, we might be able to beat Baker. But they might have a big man or a big person that's better in the paint than our paint.
Yeah, hopefully we can dominate the rebound battle this time. As he said, it's going to be the key to beating Baker. I really believe we can do it. I don't think it'll be much of a challenge. I think we're going to win by double digits. I have faith in the girls, so hopefully we get the job done there Saturday. Actually, it'll be here at home, so we'll get to commentate that one and watch to see what the girls come up with that day. Taking a look at some of the teams that are in the hunt right now with us, looking at Missouri Valley, CMU, Park, Peru, and Graceland. I want to kind of talk about each of them individually and kind of see what, predict what their future outcomes are going to be this next week. So for Missouri Valley, they'll play Park, Grandview, and Clark. Those are their 3 games left. Out of those 3, I have them losing to Park, or actually beating Park, losing to Grandview, and losing to Clark. I believe that Grandview and Clark, it's a pretty obvious one they're going to lose to. Park, it might be a toss-up.
Now, I'm gonna really hit you with a little unexpected call here. I'm gonna go. Obviously, the clear loss for Missouri Valley is Clark. I feel like that is a clear loss. I think we can all, as a group, have a consensus that
And
they're gonna
Grandview.
lose. Huh?
And Grandview, number 20 ranked Grandview.
Now that's where I differ, personally. What did you just say? Sorry.
I said they're ranked number 20.
And I
Grandview is
completely
ranked-
agree with you. Yeah, that's the 2 losses right there. Nah, I completely agree with you. I'm saying 2 losses, 1 win. Yeah, Esteban. That is, you got to bang on there. Lewis, please continue.
That's what I think you should continue.
So Henry, you had no idea they were ranked 20th,
Huh?
did you? You didn't know they were ranked
What
20th.
gave you that idea? What gave you that idea?
Yep, of course. Well,
You know?
here's the thing: we lost to them by 7 this past weekend, so we almost beat. They were ranked 17th at the time. Now that we only beat them by 7, we pushed them down to 20. So Culver Stockton's kind of making history in the sense of we're pushing teams down in the rankings. We didn't beat them, right? We lost by 7.
Have we received votes?
No, we're not even close to receiving votes.
Okay. Is there any specific reason onto why? Because I think we're against very high level teams. Maybe we're not beating them, or is it that they only look when you beat high level teams when it comes into account?
Well, it helps that you lose to them by a certain margin, like by 1 or 2 points, for example. But if you're losing to teams that aren't ranked, like our case, we're not going to get votes because we're losing to teams like Baker, for example.
Yeah, so you gotta beat teams that are ranked and beat teams that aren't ranked. You have to basically be you have to beat teams that are ranked and beat teams that aren't ranked
Yeah.
to receive votes.
It's as simple as that. Basically, you gotta win, and we have been too inconsistent this season to get votes.
Can I say my opinion about that?
Go on.
I just want to say that I don't know why that. Like, I know winning and losing is very important, and that obviously if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Right? But I feel like the margin of loss, especially in basketball, such what I would say a volatile game. Like you can in the first half you can have a difference of about 20 points, and then by the end of it, you only have a difference of 1.
And we kind of saw that when Culver Stockton lost to Mid-Am. They had a difference of 26. They were beating them by 26 at the half, and they ended up losing by 1 point. So a really good Mid-America team.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I want to point out. I feel like the overall playing time of the team should be a discussion point.
So the one thing I want to say is I've heard this the last couple of days is basketball is a game of runs. So like a team could get hot, another team gets cold, but then when that other team gets hot, like it's all a matter of when one team goes on a run. And you could be winning by 20 points the whole game, but let's say in the last 2 minutes, the other team goes on a run and somehow scores 20 unanswered. Now you have a close game. Like it's all a matter of what team is hot and when they're hot, and at what point in the game do they go on a run.
That's a great point. And we heard who was it that we faced yesterday again? Mount Mercy. We heard the Mount Mercy coach talk to reference that at halftime when he said he knew Culver Stockton was going to get on a run, and they knew they weren't going to back down. And that's exactly what you were talking about right now, Lewis. Let's take a look at CMU and their remaining schedule. They are 7th right now in the standings. They play Park as well. It seems like everyone's playing Park somehow. They play Park, Mid-America, and Mount Mercy. Henry, I'll let you go first because I don't want you to copy me. I'll let you know none of these teams that they are facing are ranked.
Okay.
But keep in mind, we lost to Mount Mercy yesterday. Mid-America, I believe, is starting to receive votes. And Park is Park.
Yeah. Okay. And what team are we currently discussing?
CMU. CMU is playing Park, Mid-America, and Mount Mercy. Which ones are they winning? Which ones are they losing?
Okay,
I have a question to ask. Is CMU ranked?
No, they're not.
Okay. I'm gonna go for they beat Mount Mercy.
Look at his reaction. No, you have to.
Actually, let me take that back. Mount Mercy beats them.
Thank you. My reaction said it all.
Yeah, he didn't react.
No, he did. You
I just
definitely
thought it through in my head, and I was watching the gameplay from yesterday. And really, the defense that Mount Mercy put out was actually good. Was really good, really. So I wanted to correct myself there. So I'll change my answer there, and then CMU they will be.
Will they be Park, or will they lose to Park?
Nah, I think they will beat Park.
Good.
You know?
Good. Okay. Mid-America, they're gonna beat or lose to Mid-America?
You see, that's where you got me. You know, I need a little bit more about Mid-America.
They're receiving votes. Or if they're not, they're really close to it. They've been on a hot streak as of late, and they beat really good teams.
So I'm going to just, throw the dart out there, and I'm going to say that Mid-America is going to win against CMU.
Good.
Yeah.
What a coincidence. I have the same stats here. I think Park.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're going to beat Park.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
And I think they're going to lose to Mid-America and Mount Mercy. Okay, Lewis, your turn. Let's talk about Park now, the famous Park. They're going to be playing Culver Stockton. So there's only one right option to say they're beating us or not.
Right.
They're going to play CMU, and they're going to play Missouri Valley.
All right. So I think. Wait. So we're going to beat them.
That's a good start. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the second team?
CMU.
Ooh. I'm gonna go on a limb here. I think CMU will beat Park.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And then what was the last one?
Missouri Valley.
Oh. Is Missouri Valley receiving points?
No, they're not receiving votes.
Are they ranked? Like, are they in the playoff contention?
They're 6 right now.
Oh. Then I think Missouri Valley will win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's your opinion. I agree with
What do you think, Esteban?
I think they are losing to the 3 teams. I think they're losing to Culver, CMU, and Missouri Valley. So I agree with you on 2 of those points.
Right.
The one I don't agree is CMU. I think CMU is going to beat Park. But it's really a toss-up between those two because they're both pretty well ranked.
Yeah, I thought they're pretty even.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty even. So anything can happen between those two. Okay, we got 2 teams left to talk about, and then Culver Stockton. Let's do Peru State. Peru State right now, they're tied with us right now. And they're going to be facing last place Baker, William Penn, which is second to last right now, and Clark, which is first. Guys, they're facing last place, second to last, and first.
Okay.
Please don't disappoint me here.
Yeah, Hunter, you go first.
All right. So, well, just out of straight instinct, I'm gonna hit. They're gonna have 2 losses. No, sorry. 1 loss, 2 wins.
1 loss, 2 wins.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
I'm agreeing with him.
You're agreeing with him. Okay,
Yep.
I have here they're going to have 1 loss, 2 wins. We're actually on right track. I think they're beating...
What teams are going to win? What teams are going to lose? What teams are they going to beat, Henry?
Well, obviously the team that's ranked number 1, they're gonna lose to that team.
Right.
Unless, is it Esteban? And this might be a bit of like footy going on. But is there any chance? Do you think, like, obviously because they're number 1 ranked team,
right,
in the conference? Do you think they'll put like their bench players or like reserve players? Because they're already in a very solid spot.
That is a great point.
So
that actually is a great point. I didn't even think about that. He said,
is that a possibility?
What if the team that's ranked first puts in their reserves and their subs against this team because they're already ranked first and they don't really need to, like, actually.
So I don't know. Is that something they do? Like,
they do. Yeah, and the NBA, they do that. Like, if it's a team that's really good and playing a team that's not very good, they'll play like their subs and they won't play like their actual starters. So I could see. I actually didn't think about that. That's actually, yeah, I didn't even.
So I believe at the start of the game they're going to start with their regular 5, but second quarter coming around, I think it's going to be about a 17-point lead for Clark, and that's when I think we're going to start seeing the reserves, but not too much because they know the players are coming up, so they don't really want to rest their players too much to the sense where they get out of rhythm.
But I feel like they do need to rest them so they're healthy enough and in shape, so they don't risk injury, and also that so they can. First off, I think not risking injury is the main part to not play their starters against the team they're about to play. That's what I think personally. Like, if I'm the coach, I'm saying first quarter we get like at least a comfortable lead to where we can play in the second quarter we can play our reserves or our subs or whatever. But after that, I'm not touching my starting. At least my starting 5 and my 6 man. I'm not playing either of those because
Right.
I don't want to risk an injury. Like it's sports. Injury can happen at any time.
Right. Yeah, I think I'll agree with you. We will see diminished playing time from their starters. I don't think we'll see them out the entire game. I think they'll still play. I will say about on average 20 minutes. That's half of the game.
Yeah.
Because you want to get them warm a little bit, not too cold, but at the same time you don't want to risk the injury factor. So I think their coach knows what he's doing. He's been there with their program for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Not as a head coach. This is his first year, but as an assistant coach. So he knows how to get the best out of his players. He knows how to manage their time. And Clark could be in the running once again for national champions. I wouldn't be surprised at all if somehow they get it.
Did they win it last year, Clark?
They did. They're the
So
national.
they got the target on their back going for back-to-back. So obviously they're going to be the team to beat this year.
Correct.
In the
Yep.
playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're still doing really good right now. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with them. Graceland, the last team we want to talk about before Culver, they're going to be playing. They're currently tied with us. They're going to be playing Culver, Mid-America, and Benedictine. Mid-America is 4th right now. Benedictine is 3rd. Culver Stockton is tied with them. What are going to be the results, Liz?
And where are they?
They're tied with us.
Okay, so I really can't predict what happens with I think we'll win, obviously, because I go to school here, so I have to show support for Culver. So I think we're gonna win that game, and then the second game, I think they're gonna lose the 2 of those
Yep.
because they're obviously higher ranked. But I think we'll beat them, but then they're gonna lose the other 2.
Yep. I think Henry can agree with that one. It's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose all 3 games.
Wow, no school spirit.
Huh?
No. He's
No.
saying they're
Yeah, sorry.
Graceland's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
lose
yeah,
all
yeah.
3 games.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like they're going to lose all 3 games. I've got, obviously, Culver Stockton, because, I feel like Culver Stockton's on a run to make playoffs, and they've got great momentum building up. But then you mentioned that the other teams they played, what was it? Mid-Am and Benedictine?
And Benedictine, yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, it's a thing that they just won't hold up.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. They're going to, in my opinion, lose all 3 games. The Mid-America, Benedictine for sure. Mm-hmm. And then our game is a toss-up, really. But I think they're going to lose to us. We beat them the first time here at home. It's going to be exciting to see the momentum our girls are going to carry into the game. And that'll lead us to talk about Culver. I think Culver's going 3-0 in the last 3 games left.
I agree.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to beat Baker pretty easily. Graceland, it'll be close. And Park, I think by Park, I feel like we're going to win by 11. I don't know why. I just feel like saying we're going to win by 11 against Park.
He has a script.
Basically, it's Henry knows whenever we do predictions, we're not really good at them. But
when he means we're not really good at them, means we have actually never gotten it right. So,
So basically, whenever I decide to watch sports.
Yeah, exactly. It's very unfortunate, but at the same time, every time we expected little, they give us an very good performance. But then other times when we've expected a lot, they haven't performed to the level we thought they could.
Right. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. They've been pretty inconsistent this season, but hopefully they get the job done in the last 3 games. My final predictions for the standings. Well, actually, before we get to that, if everything we said here that we agreed on actually happens, every single game we said, they win and they lose by all the teams we mentioned, CMU would finish 6th place. Culver would finish tied with them at 6. Missouri Valley will finish tied with them at 6. And then Culver Stockton will, because of the differential in terms of tiebreaker, they'll finish 7th. Missouri Valley will finish 8th. And then Peru will finish 9th. Park will finish 10th. That's what I believe.
So I'm guessing, I don't really know how playoffs work for NAIA. So would we play the team that's in 2nd? Because I'm assuming it'll be 1st against 8th. So who's in 2nd right now?
So if we finish 7th, I believe we will be facing
Grandview, no?
Grandview, yes. And it's going to be it's a long trip too. It's an overnight trip that we're talking about here. And last year they played Grandview in the first round of conference playoffs. We were the number 5 seed. Grandview was number 4, so we traveled all the way to them. And Culver Stockton got the upset, I should say. So they're going to be in familiar territory to be able to beat them once again in the playoffs. They know how to go on the road, and it's going to be a rematch of that game if we get the result.
Well, I'm looking here at Lewis, and he's not very confident on the fact that we're going to beat him.
If that happens, like if we finish 7th and they finish 2nd, we played them this year and we lost 56-39.
Yes, but let's look at the positive, Lewis. That was the first game. Let's look at the second game we played them where we only lost by 7.
Lewis. Go for the second game.
It was last Saturday. We only lost by 7 to them.
Still, you know what? School spirit. We're gonna beat them if we play them.
But no, but if you're gonna say we're gonna lose, you might as well state that we're gonna lose, but explain why you think we're gonna lose.
Well, okay, I'm trying to find the.
Okay, well.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it.
They lost by 7.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance. Henry and I watched that game, and we were winning the entire way. Mm-hmm. And just fourth quarter things kind of fell out of hand, but it wasn't bad against the number 17 ranked team. And again, everything changes during playoffs. Anything can happen. The important thing is just getting a seed.
So if I look at the stats, everything was like pretty even. Like it wasn't one team dominating the other. Like the only thing, we even had more points in the paint than them. They only had 12. We had 28. The largest lead they had was 17, which was wild, and we had the largest lead of 2. But I do think that if we play that way, we could possibly win. I'm sorry, I saw the first game where they blew us out, so I was.
Yeah, first game wasn't too kind for Culver, but
can I mention that, by the way? I feel like the first half of the women's basketball season, it wasn't as much wins, obviously, as we expected. I think there was a lot of tough games and a lot of games that we won by a lot. But this second half, I think, has been absolutely outstanding for them. What do you think was the major change there, Esteban?
I think injuries. People were able to come back from injuries in the second half of the season, and everyone's not fully back. We have Kyle Bush out right now. Mm-hmm. Addison Newbon's still dealing with a knee injury. But compared to the first half of the season, we got more players back. They're healthier than they were. And I think they're getting to know each other better. The chemistry is, getting better in the team, mm-hmm. and they kind of know where everyone's going to be in the court. We've seen that throughout the second half of the season. So, I think that's what I take away most from, first half and second half. So hopefully they can keep figuring things out and keep building on a high to be able to secure playoff chances. Yeah. Let's take a look at CMU. We're not going to play them right now, but we are pretty close to them in the standings. We played them twice this season. The first game we played them, it was interesting because it was over break and it was against their reserves. They had an issue over there with the coach, so the reserve team traveled, and we were able to win. It was pretty blowout fashion. At that point, they were ranked, and we were able to beat a ranked team. Second game came around, and we lost to them by a slim margin, and that was against their first team. However, that one game that we did win, it's going to be key. It's going to be a determining factor for our seeding in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Because right now everything's so close, and just that simple game is helping us big time.
Yeah, so obviously we saw in the first part that we were able to beat a ranked team. Obviously you mentioned that it was the reserves at the time, but since it being such a close margin, I feel like it is important to mention that with, again, and I'm going to stress this enough, I feel like the momentum that we've carried on from the end of last game to what could be the beginning of this one could be a very positive one.
Right. I totally agree with you. It's like a tale of two stories, basically. And, as we mentioned, that's going to be the key factor, and it's shown right now. And just, that key game against CMU, it's going to be a determining factor, as we said, to be able to secure playoffs. I think CMU is kind of regretting their decision because it's hurting them right now. Just one game has impacted their season and their hopes for playoffs. Even though they're still looking pretty good, but the seeding can change. Yeah. When we went all the way to Clark University, we were able to, as we mentioned earlier, lose to them by 3 at overtime. However, one of their best players, Nicole McDermott, she was injured. We might face Clark again in the playoffs this time. She's going to be back. So how is Culver Stockton going to be able to adapt to facing a Clark team with their best player on the court this time around?
Well, you see, when there's a team that has one crucial star player, I think maybe for the players in itself, it might be a challenge because obviously we know is a very talented individual. But from the coaching aspect, I think it's something that the coach can highlight very well in the preparation for that game. So, for example, if we know that she's a threat in certain areas, we need to make sure that in those areas, she's not able to do what she would regularly do. Now, obviously, in a lot of circumstances around sports, we have seen that coaches have tried to stop a certain player and it just hasn't worked out because their individual talent has taken them to the point that they're still able to perform, even with the liabilities that the coaching staff from the opposing team has tried to put on them. But I feel like we've got a smart enough coaching staff that will be able to hopefully limit the performance and points she gets in that moment in time.
Yesterday, she had a double-double herself with 13 points and 10 rebounds. The reason she didn't play against us, she had a twisted ankle the game before ours against Mid-America. But she's a really good player, and Henry, as you said, it's going to be up to our coach and our players to kind of limit the chances that McDermott gets if we get to face Clark. And she's really good at rebounding, and that's something we are not too good at. We struggle game in and game out usually with our rebounds. And if she's really good at it, it's going to be kind of a hassle to stop her in that end. But we might not even face Clark at all. We might win first round, face someone else in the second. Might be Mid-America, might be Benedictine. So we might be worrying for nothing. Lewis, Henry, as we get ready to wrap things up, any final words? Let's start with you, Lewis.
I wish Culver Stockton women's basketball the best. I hope they make a very good playoff run, and hopefully they can make it far in the playoffs, and hopefully bring some silverware back.
Henry, final words?
I think I've said it all. I think I'm expecting great things from women's basketball. I think I've saw a lot of great movement on the ball from them. So I think these next 3 games are definitely going to be something everyone has to tune in for because it's going to be exciting.
And just to recap, final say, we think Culver Stockton is going to finish 7th in the standings. So if we're right, I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope we are right. So we're predicting this a couple days before their season ends, about a week and a day before. So Culver Stockton finishes 7th, and we face Grandview in the playoffs. So with that, we'll go ahead and end this special episode. Guys, it's been a pleasure having you both along, getting to speak with you, Lewis, for the first time, and Henry for the second time. So we'll end the women's side here, actually, and we'll go ahead and talk about the men's in a few minutes coming up. Welcome back, everyone, to the second segment of this special feature episode as we get to talk about Culver Stockton women's basketball, and now we're going to take a look at the men's basketball side of things. Joining me still here, Luis Saldarriega and Henry Apia. We're excited to have you guys once again. Let's take a look at the men's basketball squad this season. Right now, they're doing really, really well, actually. They have a 13-12 overall record. They have a positive record in conference, which is the toughest part. They're 11-10 with a winning streak of 1. We saw them win against Mount Mercy yesterday. It's looking pretty good for them in the standings right now in playoffs. Guys, last season wasn't good for them. Are we surprised at all that this season has gone the way it's gone for them?
Well, let me start off here. No, I'm not surprised at all, actually. I feel like it was a lot of team camaraderie. I feel like there was a lot of imbalances in the team that throughout this season it got sorted out.
I think also it was a new coach this year. So new coach, new culture. The past 3 years, I think we can all agree that the men's basketball had a lot of individual talent. With a lot of players going pro overseas or semi-pro overseas as well. So I feel like now that they have a coach that can make all their individual talent a group talent and figure out what works best for the system. Now we're getting that result with them being 5th in the conference. So I think the program is heading in a very positive direction with this new hire, this new head coach, who's proving himself worthy of being the head coach here at Culver.
I agree with you. Coach Hobbs has turned the program around right now. He's done a tremendous job going from being picked in the preseason poll to finish last to being right now in 6th place is a really good accomplishment. So credit to him, credit to the team right now. And it looks like we're going to go, well, we already secured a playoff spot, actually. So I'm not sure when the last time men's basketball team made the playoffs because, well, I got here last year, right? I don't really know before that. But
I don't think they made playoffs while I was here during my 4 years. I think it's been a minute.
It's been a minute according to the list. So, yeah.
Because they haven't made it. In my 4 years, they didn't make playoffs. So I don't know.
So it's been maybe 2 minutes. Maybe two. I had to throw that one in there.
I'm not laughing at that.
Well, Lewis and I are laughing. Anyways,
I tried very hard not to laugh. That was a very bad joke.
Anyways, after the 2 minutes they had, they're finally going back to the playoff run. And right now, as I said, sitting in 6th place, tied at 5th, actually. They're tied. They're currently at 6th, but tied with Peru State. So the highest seed we can get right now is 5th. And if the standings hold the way they are in the top 4, we'll be facing Graceland. It's a really good Graceland team we already lost to earlier in the season. We would be going all the way to them to face them in the first round of playoffs. However, anything can happen in the sense of we might face CMU, which we beat earlier this season at home, and then we lost to them on the road. So if we do face them, it's going to be on the road. It's going to be a tough challenge, but I think the guys are up for it.
No, I agree. I think if some players, like if Seth Larson, who past 2 years he was here, I don't think he was starting. I think he was a rotational player, and I think the new head coach this year saw something in him that the previous coach didn't, and now he's a key player for the men's basketball. I think he's averaging 13.5 points per game, which is really good for his first year starting, which is really, I think, an outstanding number for a basketball player. Averaging 13.5 points.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I remember Seth Lawson. Obviously, he's been on the podcast of Off the Bench, and I think that's an episode that everyone should probably go check out because it's very enlightening, especially when he talks about his way to come up here and like what has been his key roles and how he has changed and developed throughout the team. So obviously. Just want to point out that's an important episode to give a look at. But moving past that, I do want to say that, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, Lewis. I think his development, I mean, he's always played in the team. Like, I've always seen him since his freshman year, that he has been a player that has contributed in some shape or form. But to start off for the first year, his junior year, and starting already and being a key role player, I think it's really important.
Guys, if we face Graceland in the playoffs, we'll actually face them again in a week in regular season. But if we face them in the playoffs, when we played them here at home, we lost to them 83-70, so by 13. Going on the road, do we have a chance of beating them when we lost to them by 13 at home?
Well, I remember that the men's basketball, when coming home, whenever we had to play, when teams came to play here, we were I think we were 5-0 at one point for the home record. Like, we were undefeated, and then we went on a really bad losing streak. I think we're now sitting at 7-3 or 7-4 at home. So I think we're not really good at on away. So we're 4-8 on the road and 9-4 at home. So we obviously play better here. So losing to them here was definitely not something that is very constant with the men's basketball team. So hopefully that was just a bump in the road and they can look to bounce back. And because I've spoken over the past 4 years, I've spoken to multiple players who've played on basketball or volleyball, and they say like playing in a Charlotte Fieldhouse is like having an extra man due to the fact that it's so loud in the stadium and like how aggressive the fans can get towards the opponents that if you airball, like you'll know, like the fans will let you know if the away team airballs. Like it's not a fun place to play at for a visiting team.
As you said, they were about 5-0, and that might have been their first loss. However, Seth Larson wasn't playing that game. Quite funny. So the result would have been different. It would have been the exact same number. I'm not saying we would have gotten a win, but at least it would have been a way closer game if we had Seth back to his usual self, not injured, and in the starting lineup like we've seen him pretty much the entire season. However, he picked up a minor injury that day, so he was out for, I believe it was 3 or 4 games. Thankfully, him and Robert Fry, as well as the rest of the squad, are back in action, and most of them are healthy. So we have almost all the players back, which is, it's a key moment to have them back right now when postseason approaches.
So talking about Robert Fry, he actually broke his career record for 1,000 points last game for Culver Stockton College, which, if you really think about it, that's really wild stat to hit because he took a year where he went to a D2 school in Florida. So he wasn't here playing in Culver for a whole year, and he still managed in 3 years to get 1,000 points in his career, which is really a great number.
Was it 1,000 points at Culver or 1,000 points in his career?
I'm not. It
I'm
just
pretty
says
sure it's
1,000.
career points. So the D2 points counted. Because when you do career points, even if you play somewhere else, they count.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. If it's career points, I think that's it. But either way, it's a great
still-
accomplishment.
But we can find out. No?
We can?
Yeah.
I mean, we can ask him, but...
No, I mean, it has to be like overall in season, right? Throughout the whole season.
Well, no,
Currently, just this season, he's done 338 points.
so I think it's just here at Culver. Because let's say, think about it, because 300 and 3, let's say we average 300 points a year, right? So 300 this year, 300 another year, that's 900 points. That's just based off, like, without having the exact number. So I think it's 1,000 points just here at Culver alone.
Interesting. I'll have to double check that with him. So, Rob, if you're listening to the podcast, let us know if it was career or just at Culver Stockton. It'd be interesting to find out. Taking a look at Culver's remaining games, they have 3 games left, just as the women. They'll be facing the same teams. It'll be Baker, Graceland, and Park. We faced Baker already at their place, and Baker's one of the top teams. We did not fare well against them. It's not that we did terrible. We lost by 8. But it was a 71-63 loss against Baker. And as I mentioned, it's hard to go over the Baker to Kansas to play them. They're a really good team over there. But Lewis, Henry, what's going to be the key factor for the men to pick up a win in 2 days' time this Saturday against a really good Baker men's squad?
So, based off the last couple games that I've watched, I realized the one thing that Culver really lack is rebounds. Like, there was a game that we lost by, we lost by a lot. And when we were getting the stats, the main part that we realized that we were lacking rebounds and points after getting a rebound. Like, that's where, and points in the paint. And that was, I hate to be the guy, because I talked about that also in the women's games, like, was rebounds. I hate to be the guy that brings up rebounds, but rebounds play a big part in basketball, because you can get an offensive rebound and get it some points, or you can get a defensive rebound and then go and score some points. Like, rebounds goes a long way in basketball, and I feel like if the Culver Stockton can focus on getting rebounds, they can get some results.
Henry, your thoughts on how we can beat Baker on Saturday?
So obviously, Lewis mentioned the rebounds, and I mean, yeah, throughout my time watching the sport, I can definitely agree with Lewis there. I think it's a very important thing. But I think defensively, I think that is where it's going to be our main highlights, and obviously defensive rebounds and offensive rebounds are crucial, but I feel like our overall defensive movement and able to adjust to Baker's offense could be something that really takes and elevates the game for Culver Stockton. Maybe that tap is better. We have been performing very well defensively, in my opinion, but I feel like if we continue what we have been doing before and put it onto Baker's strategy and the way they move the ball, could be very important.
And as you guys well said about the rebounds, even yesterday when we won the game, we lost the rebound battle. I believe it was by 4 rebounds that we were down by. However, thankfully yesterday they were able to make the most of it in terms of points. 88-83 win against Mount Mercy. But Lewis, you said it right on the spot. Getting rebounds is key. I know for the women's coach, he preaches to her players to try and turn their just get a lot of rebounds in the game and try and turn their defense into offense. And it starts with rebounds. If you get the ball, you can score. And you get the ball by getting the rebound. It's as simple as that.
So I'm going to add that not only rebounds, but also having key players like Fry, who averages 15 points a game, Larson, who averages 13.5, and Ty Walters-Whitaker, who averages 12. And also Carandis Harris-Anderson, he's averaging 10 points off the bench. So if those players who clearly are most players who are carrying majority of the weight, their points for the team, I feel like if all of them show up and have a great game, that it can fall in the favor of Culver. I also want to add that this says that Culver Stockton is averaging 37% from the three-pointers this year, which is anywhere around 40% is a great number. Mm-hmm. So shooting 37% from the three is amazing for Culver Stockton. Mm-hmm. So hopefully have some threes, have all those players show up, and I think the Wildcats will be well on their way to a playoff contention.
Harris Anderson as well as Connor Davis did really good yesterday from three-point range. Both of them had two shots from three, 2 made shots, and they took 3 each from behind the arc. So as he said, Culver is good from behind the arc. And they're also really good in the paint. Their ball distribution, their movement inside and outside the paint, I think it's really good. I think we have the chance to make it to the second round of the tournament in the Heart of America Conference. I think that's where we kind of, say goodbye. Not to be, a deal breaker or anything or be negative, but I don't think we're going to make it to the finals in terms of the conference. I don't think this is the year. But from last year, this year, as we talked about, already huge improvement.
Personally, I feel like this year is going to be a rebuild for the program. And I feel like that was a lot of, maybe not for the team, but a lot of players or a lot of people at the school may not have had the hopes of the Meds making the run that they're making. So I feel like this is, regardless of what happens, obviously always hoping for the best for the basketball team. But regardless of what happens, this is a phenomenal start to the first-year head coach that we just brought in.
And we've been able to prove the conference wrong. They picked us to finish last, and we're making playoffs, so it's obviously not the case. So, as you said, a big accomplishment for the guys. They're able to prove the conference wrong and able to hold their own ground with a new coach, and as you said, turn the program around. The last game that we have in at least the regular season will be against Park. That one, we will travel to them. And we faced Park already. Here at home, we were able to get a 74-69 win. So I'm expecting nothing less than another win when we go on the road. I think it'll be a closer game, especially because we're not here at Joe Charles Fieldhouse. But I'm expecting a win against Park. I say Culver Stockton wins 2 of their last 3 games.
I think they sweep.
3 of 3. Interesting.
I agree.
The guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a sweep. And I know that like Lewis mentioned, it was a thing of obviously at home is better for us, and I believe that 2 of the games left are away, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I feel like it's to that point in the season where the team is comfortable enough to take their talents away. Like take what they're able to do here in the what you can call being like comfortable being at home, and even though they're going to be uncomfortable away with away fans, I think it's not going to be anything that they're going to have to be worried about.
Ty Walters-Whitaker, their last game on the road was against Grandview. He had 35 points that game. I saw that stat and I was just amazed. I saw him later that night and I was like, yo, Ty, 35 points. That is insane. 35 points in a single game. Lewis, your thoughts on that?
No, that's I don't think I can put him more than 5 if I were to put me on the court. So I think that's really impressive.
First of all, Lewis, I don't think any of us are making the court. Yeah,
I don't
let's
think
be
I'm
honest.
making a single shot on. I mean, we've seen how I play basketball. And
having 35
I
points.
have actually had the pleasure not to ever see you play basketball, and let's keep it that way, Esteban. I think none of us are physically good enough for basketball.
Yeah, any type of points scored is impressive to me. But someone scoring double digits, not only double digits, scoring 35 points, that's insane. Hopefully he keeps the ball running and has another 35 next away game.
He scored 27 just from 3-point range.
Damn.
Mr. Whitaker's
Brutal.
Mr. Walters Whitaker scored 27 points from behind the arc. That is just fascinating. So, Ty, if you're watching this, believable job by you that game.
Good stuff, man.
It was insane performance. Played pretty much the entire game, 39 minutes. So he sat down for just a minute. The coach was like, you know what? You need 1 minute of rest, and then you're good to go back on the court.
His 3-point percentage for the season is 35%. So that's very good shot percentage from the three.
It's solid. Yeah.
Yeah, he's played 21 games from the field. He's 42%. So I mean, yeah, it's a very impressive stat. I think it's definitely on top of Robert Fry. I think it's a player that we're gonna have to watch on these last three games.
Those three players, there's Larson, Fry, and Walters Whitaker, but all step up to the plate. I think we sweep.
And in the game against Grandview, I was surprised to see Fry not starting. He still played starting minutes. You know, he played 30 actually.
Yeah, I think he's been nursing a small injury because I remember there was near the middle of the season there was like 4 or 5 home games I didn't play. So maybe he tweaked that injury again. I'm not sure though. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Right. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I'm not really too sure what's been going on with him, but overall he's been having a tremendous season as well. That game against Grandview, he had 17 points, 6 for 8 from the floor. So overall the team has just been doing great. As we said, Seth Larson, another key figure. He got the player of the game last night, and he's gotten a couple of those. Him, Ty, and Robert Fry have gotten a couple player of the game. So, Lewis, as you said it, they're going to be the key players to watch.
I think Culver Stockton, men basketball is a machine with all the right gears turning, to say the least.
I like that. A machine with all the right gears turning.
Yeah, put that one on a shirt. How about that?
Yep. We got a couple to put on a shirt now. I like it. Henry, Lewis, any final thoughts before we wrap this up? Besides, congratulations, men's basketball, because you're making playoffs. But besides that, we're really excited. Any final thoughts?
For me, it's I think congratulations to the new coach and the new coaching staff. I think they have been able to create a good team environment and been able to make every single player at least feel good, feel comfortable with the way they play, and I think they've had a good run. So first of all, congratulations to them and congratulations to the whole team, because I mean, it's to make playoffs is definitely not easy, and it definitely had to take a lot of hard work of individual training and team training that you can definitely see on game days that they give 110%.
Lewis, any final words?
I think he said it perfectly. I don't know what else to add to that.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Henry hit it right on the spot. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been fun recapping the girls' basketball season as well as the guys. It's been a lot of fun calling a couple games with you guys this year.